We're now at the Royal Rwanda Maximum Security Prison near Bafokeng in the northwest. And behind me are the cells where the coup plotters were kept. And across here is a wall that was purposely built to separate the coup plotters from the rest of the prisoners. Jose Lebone was detained and interrogated about his connections to the coup. He said that a gun was fired behind him and water poured over his head. He was later released when the police were served with an urgent court application. Just over a month later, Lebone narrowly escaped re-arrest outside his home and fled to Botswana, where he spent many years in exile. This is the female section of the Royal Rwanda Maximum Prison. It is here that during the coup, Memokolo and 51 other Bafokeng women were kept without charge for 10 days. I found Memokolo's name in the prison register. The detention of many Bafokeng and the exile of their king created a tense political atmosphere in Bafokeng and the surrounding villages. This Catholic mission was just outside the Bophuthatswana boundary and is where Memokolo took refuge from harassment by the Bophuthatswana police and met with Bafokeng people during this time.
A ke simolole ka nako ya Bophuthatswana ene ke be ke re tota ga ne se ka mission o mo nakong ela Bophuthatswana ga ke itse gore a nka bodile ra kgona gore re kopana ka mokgone re kopana ka teng.
The oppression from the Bophuthatswana security forces and the government was very severe, and because Bafokeng village was in Bophuthatswana and this mission right next to Bafokeng village was in South Africa, I absolutely refused the pressure of the Bophuthatswana government and Mr. Mangope in particular to deny the liberation movements, the Bafokeng people, the civics and the unions from meeting. And so we offered this mission, all the buildings, the field for mass meetings of anybody.
At the time we had now split in two groups. There were the pro-Mangope and the pro-Molotlehi. What I did then was to unify the people, to unite the people. And I think that is still my duty. Whether you are in that camp or this camp, if the fact remains that you are a Bafokeng, and I want the Bafokeng to be a unity. Ga ke tsela Bafokeng ba kile ba khona gore ba ipope ba ne se ba leng sone le tota bo khone ya gore ba lwe gore khosi ya bone e be boe ga ke tsela nka ba ka ba khone jang.
This is Maggie Bopalamo, who wrote a book about the struggle in Bophuthatswana and the Royal Bafokeng Nation during apartheid.
When I got to Royal Rwanda, I found there were many women in a cell. Many women from different parts of Bophuthatswana. We were interrogated for about a week, all of us. After 14 days, we left Royal Rwanda, but the men remained in prison. And the Jose Lebone was with them. There were two divisions of people in the village. There were those who were saying we are fighting for the king. And there were those who said we are supporting Mangope. And in that way, everything changed. The relationships, the life in general, people got politicized.
After the unbanning of the ANC in 1990, pressure mounted on Lucas Mangope to step down and for Bophuthatswana to be reincorporated into South Africa. But Mangope formed an alliance with the right-wing AWB and prevented the ANC from operating in Bophuthatswana. In March of 1994, just before South Africa's first democratic election, Mangope was ejected from power in a popular uprising. The AWB tried to show up his regime but came under fire from members of Mangope's own police and army. Mangope and the AWB were soundly defeated. Only then did Jose Lebone and Memokolo feel able to return to Bafokeng. Kgosi Lebone's triumphant return symbolized the pride and strength of Bafokeng identity that had been downtrodden for years under Kgosi Mangope's reign, and showed the proud allegiance of the Bafokeng to their Kgosi. There was a massive celebration.